Hello, hello. I guess I'm audible. So let me share the link on all the platforms that I can, and we'll start the stream. So hello, hello, hello. Do let me know if everything is fine. I guess just a minute. We'll just quickly start the session. Hello, Rajkumar. What's up? Fine, bro. How about you? Hmm. Hmm. So we'll start in a minute. Okay. So let's wait. So yes. Hmm. I'll start sharing my screen. No, this one. Maybe now. Can you guys see my screen? Do let me know if you can. Best training instruction of HB 12. See, bro. Like once you enroll into that certification, right? So they'll give you the training, and the training is sufficient, and also they'll give you a lab. So I'll do all those stuff, and it would be more than enough. Okay. You don't need to do something extra. Okay. Just do what they are saying. That's fine. It's a CH is very easy exam. Anyone can pass it. Okay, so I hope you guys can see my screen. Let me log into my system. So you may be having doubt like why you are logging in as root. I do log in as root. Okay, so I think is it shared in Discord? Yeah, I think it's shared in Discord as well. Okay, so that's it, guys. Like let's start the session. So. mm, And also, if you want to do check me out, like you can check out me. You can connect with me on my Twitter. So Twitter is the one place that I'm very active on. So you can find the link. The ID is nullshock1. And also, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, so I do also have LinkedIn. So let me show you, give you my profile. So you can find that in the description. Okay, or you can simply search my name and you will get it. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn profile as well. If you want, you can connect with me, and yep, like let's have a meaningful communication there if you want to. And if you have any doubts related to the things that I teach on my channel, you can just check me or reach me out on my Discord server. it is the best place you can connect with me on. Okay, so that you can share your questions and anything, and it would be very good. Okay, and also one thing, the chat is only enabled for the subscribers. So subscribers in the sense like who subscribe to my channel, like you don't need to be anything, like you don't need to be a member or anything like that. So do subscribe, and you can go ahead. So today, if as you I hope you could see the thumbnail, and as the thumbnail suggests, we will be discussing about a Metasploit. So I hope you know what Metasploit is. Most of you guys might not know. Let's edit the preferences, might be. Yes. 14, 15, 16, 19, 20. Okay, select. So ignore the warning here. Okay. So we will be discussing about Metasploit. So Metasploit is one of the most used tool in the penetration testing field. Like most of the time, like if you're doing a pen test or sort of stuff, so Metasploit modules you'll be checking out very often. Okay, because Metasploit is like a Swiss Army knife. So Swiss, I hope you know what a Swiss Army knife is. So it consists of so many stuff. Like generally, knives consist of just a knife, right? A sharp object which is used to cut. But a Swiss Army knife consists of so many tools, and the Metasploit also do contain so many tools. So hence, it's a very important tool. Like whether you are a beginner or a pro, like this video like completely is dedicated to the Metasploit, and I'll teach you very good concepts. Like you can try to do all those stuff, and I will get a good understanding over that. Okay, so Metasploit is maintained by a company called as Rapid7. So like if you go to Google, if you go to this Firefox or Google or wherever you want, and if you type Metasploit, so you'll get the links from the Rapid7. So Rapid7 is a company which owns Metasploit, and also Metasploit also do have let me give you show that Metasploit Rapid7. Okay, so like whenever you see something like Rapid7, you don't need to worry. Like it is something like it is being maintained by the it maintains Metasploit. Okay, to keep it simple. So Metasploit also do consist of two versions, which is community version as well as a pro version. So pro version is very costly. So I'll show you the cost. It's going to be very costly. It is like 1,500,000 dollars per year. So if you convert it into an Indian price to INR, it's very costly, like 12 lakhs or so. So this is very, I think this is the most costliest subscription I've seen in this cyber security field, I guess. Like maybe there may be other tools like in identity access management, but this is like the topmost, like on what I've seen. Like this is very costly, so you don't need to go and use the pro version, and you will also most likely not find any cracked version of Metasploit Pro. So we'll be using the Metasploit community edition. It is fine, more than enough. So like what is the difference? You may be having a doubt like what is the difference. So the payloads that this particular Metasploit Pro generates are like very unique, and also they bypass so many antiviruses. So some companies which are like very serious on their security, like they own this Metasploit Pro, and this is very useful for guys like them. But for guys like us who are getting started into the cyber security and who wants to do some CTFs and sort of stuff, community edition is more than enough. Okay, like to be honest, like I only used like 30 to 40% of the Metasploit. Like there is a 60% left which I didn't use. So yeah, we'll be sticking with the community version. If you want, like if you are rich enough, go and try the pro version, but it's not required. And also Metasploit consists of two parts. So one is MSF Venom and one is MSF console. So okay, so MSF Venom as well as MSF console. So these are the two parts like which Metasploit consists of. Metasploit is a framework. So framework consists of like so many tools. Okay, framework. So Metasploit is a framework which consists of two tools like MSF Venom, MSF console. There are other tools as well. So these may not be much useful. Metasploit framework tools, for example. Like there are several tools you can do research. Okay, so but most probably you will be using MSF Venom and MSF console. There may be other tools as well, command line tools you can go and use. So MSF Venom is used to create a payload, or you can call a backdoor, or you can call it a reverse shell, or like shells. I'll give you a quick brief. Okay. Okay. Shell. So what is a payload? So payload is something which upon execution will give access to the attacker. Okay, for example, if I send you an exe payload, so if you execute that, I'll probably get a shell in the sense like I'll get a complete system level access. Okay, so I'll get an access to your system remotely. So that is a payload is. So backdoor is also same. So shells, there are two types of shells. One is a reverse shell and one is a binding shell. Okay, so reverse shell is something I'll give you a reverse shell and bind shell, I guess. I guess it's bind shell. Yes, bind shell. Yeah, bind shell. So reverse shell, what happens in the sense like upon execution of the payload. Okay, so these are like after execution of the shell, you can payload. You can also call it as a shell. Okay, it's simple. You can call. Okay, so reverse shell, what happens in the sense upon execution, the target reaches us, reaches attacker. But in the bind shell, it is reverse. Uh, Attacker approaches. I think wrong. Approaches target. So so most probably you will be using reversals because it is very good so that you can bypass firewalls. So most of the systems have firewalls inbuilt. So like when when the target is, when your target or someone like your target, whatever it is, like whenever he tries to attack reach you, so what happens in the sense like the firewall is going to, like, firewall has less outbound rules most of the time compared to that of inbound rules. Inbound in the sense like the communication that is going through the firewall, and outbound is communication going away from the firewall. Okay, so that is one thing you can keep in mind. And let me turn off my desktop sound. Okay, fine. So yeah, so and if for example, if you're trying to approach the target, if it is having some firewall IDS or IPS, so it is definitely going to catch you up. So you can use any type of shell, reverse shell, bind shell, nothing matters. Like you can try it out on any environment and see how it works. Okay, but most probably I generally use reverse shells because they are fine for me. Like firewall is never an issue for me, but I'm like it's like a stereotype you can call. I stuck with this reverse shell. Okay, so there comes the thing. So MSF console is one thing. So what happened? So I'll give you one more thing. So here, whenever upon executing shell, you will get a connection. Okay, a reverse shell, you will get a connection. So I'll keep it reverse shell here. Upon executing a reverse shell, you will be getting a connection. So what you need to do here is like you need to have a listener. Okay, so listener is something which listens to the connection from the target. Okay, so hi Nikhil. Hello. Like guys, keep your questions up in the end, so that we can check that out later. Okay, so listener is something which you require so that you can listen to that communications, and you can perform some commands. Okay, so you can create a listener using two ways, which is MSF console and netcat. So we'll be discussing both the ways. So we'll create a payload. We'll see how you can get a reverse shell. Okay, like how you can listen on that. Okay, and how you can get the communication, how you can run the commands and everything using MSF console as well as netcat. Okay, so you can use anything. Like some people like to use MSF console in order to listen to the connection and the communication, and netcat some people like to use. So it's ultimately your choice. And as I told you, MSF console has one of the functionality, like it has so many modules. So it has like several modules. Okay, for they're called as like auxiliary. I think spellings are wrong, just don't mind it. Okay, exploit and post. I think these are the three types of modules you'll be seeing in MSF console. So as the name auxiliary suggests, auxiliary is like a scanning module. Okay, like enumeration or scanning module. Like if you run an auxiliary module, so you'll be getting information. Okay, like you'll be not getting any shell or something like that. You'll be getting information about that. For example, if you ran like in the previous section, we discussed about one a module called as SMB version, which helps you in identifying the exact version of SMB. So that's an auxiliary module. And there is one more thing called as exploit. So exploit module is something, as the name suggests, it's used for to exploit, like to exploit any vulnerable services, servers, or some sort of stuff. Okay, and post is for the privilege escalations. So we'll be discussing about all these stuff, okay, in the coming sections as well as in this section. But in this section, we'll mostly focus on auxiliary and exploit modules. But post module is something we'll be discussing mostly in the privilege section, privilege escalation section. Okay, so that's it. So I hope you got it. So if you want to learn more about them, you can just Google them. What I gave you is very brief information, so you can go and learn. Okay, so and also one more thing, I'll give you a cheat sheet as well. So like you don't need to remember every command. So I always have this cheat sheet. I don't know whether it is blocked or not. Like any cheat sheet works. Yeah, let's go with this hack tricks. Let me open it in a big screen, full screen, sorry. You have like some payloads, like how you can list the payloads. Okay, so as I told you, MSF Venom is used to create payloads. Okay, like you can even create encoders as well, but that's a different topic. So we'll be mostly sticking to creating the payloads. Okay, so you can see types of shells, like how to create a reverse shell, how to create a bind shell, how to create a user. This may not be required. Uh, let's see, like you can see different types of payloads, like how to create a PHP payload. So for example, if you're dealing with a web server, so most probably you'll be using the payloads which are like, for example, there may be payloads written in Python, Java, C Sharp, PHP, ASPX, .NET, so many things. Like you will be using them based on your server. Okay, so I'll keep this in. Okay, so you can simply search here JSPs like Java Servlet Pages. War, you'll use it. The war in the sense, like, don't consider it like a war. It's something like Apache. For like, if you have like Apache Tomcat server, so you can install war files like .war files. Okay, Perl scripts, Python related reverse shells and some sort of stuff. So you can use this thing. This is the one thing that I'm showing you, but you can. There are several types of them which you can go through and you can use. Okay, so use any cheat sheet, like you don't need to remember everything. Okay, like there are only few stuff that you can remember. I'll be telling you that, and those are more than fine. Okay, so I hope it's clear. So let's go to the command prompt, and now let's do the command execution section. So you don't need to install if you are using Kali Linux, but if you are not using Kali Linux, then apt get install a Metasploit -framework. Like it may not be that easy. Okay, so you may something like you may need to add packages if you are running on some sort of Ubuntu or sort of stuff. So like with to your thing. Okay, so coming to that, so MSF Venom, so it is going to be there by default, so no need to worry. --help, so you'll get all the options. So as you can see in the cheat sheet, so there are several type of payloads that this particular MSF Venom supports. Like what you do here is, like, the structure is simple. So MSF Venom -p is an option to give the payload type. So this is a payload type. How you can find the payload type, I'll show you how you can do that. Okay, you will give an L host, like listening host. So listening host is going to be your attacker machine, like your machine's IP address, and L port, like on which port do you want to listen on. And you can give the file type, which is going to be an executable or war file, or it depends. And you can just do, you can redirect it to some file and it is going to be saved there. Okay, so this is the basic steps. Okay, these are the basic stuff, you can do it. So but before that, let's see what are all the payloads that MSF Venom has. Okay, MSF Venom -L payloads. You will have a ton of payloads here. Like you can use piping functionality to grep. I think it's payload or payloads. Yeah, payloads only, right? Okay, fine. It's taking some time. Let's wait. Maybe this is the first time. This is the Kali Linux that I installed recently, so maybe it is loading up, I guess. Let's wait. Yeah, now you could see here it showed me so many modules here. So this is a module like Windows. So x64 is the architecture. VNC jet is like it's related to the thing that you are exploiting. Like for example, here you can see injecting VNC DLL and the reverse shell HTTP. Okay, you have like some sort of stuff like let me give you a brief. Like let's do piping. Okay, so grep Windows, for example. So I hope you know what piping is. Like you'll get a result, right? So from this result, so you are grepping for few information here. Like we only want to see the Windows payloads. Okay, now you can see it grabbed me some information. So for example, if you take this, so Windows, okay, x64 is like 64-bit version. Like if you are dealing with a 64-bit Windows machine, it is going to be that. Metasploit is a type of session you will get. So Metasploit has a type. For example, as Kali Linux has Bash, okay, and Mac OS has like ZSH, Windows has like command prompt. So Metasploit also developed like a console called as Meterpreter, which is solemnly focused on this sort of like commands, okay, which you can do when you get an access, like you can access a webcam and sort of stuff. And here you can see something like a reverse, okay, reverse in the sense like it means that it's a reversal TCP connection, and UUID it's like a different thing. So okay, so like you can go through that, okay, like you can go through the description and you can find it out. Okay, for example, if you don't know anything, like just copy this thing. Okay, if you don't understand this, just copy this. Okay, just Google is your good friend, guys. Like in penetration testing, so Google is the very good friend you can have. Okay, like to be honest, like 70% of your learnings will be done through this thing. Okay, so make sure you are using Google properly. Okay, so you can just go through them and you can find out more information about them. But now let's create a payload. Okay, just by going through the time. Okay, let's create an executable. Okay, so you may be having doubt like, Satvik, does the payloads this MSF Venom creates bypass antivirus? No, they do not bypass any antivirus, because these are the payloads like they've been like for some time, like so many years, I guess, and every antivirus will detect this stuff. Okay, this is like this particular pen testing bootcamp is like you can keep it in like for a beginner perspective. Like most of the time what a beginner does is like he understands, he listens to the course and then he practices it on try hack me and hack the box. So you may be having doubt like, then what is the use of it if it cannot bypass an antivirus? Yes, you'll find several tools in your journey, so in the learning journey, and there are several tools which bypass antivirus as well, so you can go and check them out. Okay, so coming up, so let's create a payload. So MSF Venom. Okay, so the first option is going to be P. Windows is the operating system, the target operating system. Okay, you can provide the x64, but by default it's x64 only. It's not a problem. Like if you want to get a shell, you can mention shell. Okay, okay. If you mention shell, I think it's better to give x64 as well. Shell underscore reverse TCP. Okay, so this is the type of a payload that you guys can check that out, and you can give the lhost. Okay, so lhost is going to be your IP address. So IP space A. Sorry, this is my IP address. Okay, you can give any L port. You have to keep that in mind, guys. Like if you are already listening on some particular port, like if you already assign port 444 or some sort of a port to other payload, then you cannot use the same payload, like same port for the other payloads. So keep this in mind. So keep that it unique for every payload. Okay, like after you restart, or if the session died, if you are not using that particular payload, then you can use the same L port. It's not a big deal. Okay, so and hyphen format is very important. It's going to be an executable, and you can redirect it, say name something like shell.exe. Oh, sorry, I think it will take some time, and you can get the session. You can see, I think we got no error. Like you'll get this error like no platforms was selected. So there is also an option called as hyphen platform. That's not required. Okay, I do an ls, you can see shell.exe. Like if I do file shell.exe, it's an executable. Okay, cat shell.exe, it's an executable. Okay, so you got an executable, so you can transfer it to any like not any, like just try to create a windows machine within your virtual network and try to get that. Okay, so the advantage, we created a payload called as a shell. It is not a Metasploit shell in the sense like it is going to be command prompt. Okay, so if in order to listen to that, you can use a tool called as netcat. So netcat is also very useful tool. So netcat, okay, nc hyphen nvlp. So now you are listening on a particular port. Okay, and in the sense like resoluting. Okay, v in the sense verbose, l in the sense like listening, p in the sense the port. So you are listening, you are going to listen on port 444. So just run this, and once this payload is transferred to your target, and if it is executed, then you will get a shell here, a command prompt shell here. Okay, so that is one thing, you can interact with that particular shell. And there is one more thing, but for that we'll create one more payload. So we'll create a payload with Metasploit option. Is this a VM? Yeah, it's a VM, bro. uh, I hope you could see that. I think we gave it the same name, I guess, guys, but that's fine. So yep, we got a same payload. So here you cannot interact with the netcat because netcat doesn't have a functionality, okay, to interact with the Metasploit sort of sessions. Okay, so how you can do that? Then we'll be launching MSF console. But before that, if you are launching MSF console for the first time, just run this command msfdb init. So like like this Metasploit has a database. So msfdb init is an option that helps you in like initializing the database. Okay. No, it's on VMware, bro. So for the first time, whenever you are running it, so make sure you are running this command, okay? Because sometimes you'll get like database errors and sort of stuff, but you don't need to run this every time. Just whenever you're doing it for the first time, you can do it. Is there any way in which you can make this backdoor undetectable? You need to mostly, in order to make a backdoor undetectable, just you need to create yourself on your own. Okay, that's the best thing that I could say. How you can, like, you cannot make the payload that this generated is like completely undetectable. Like you can add some command comments and sort of stuff, like most of the antiviruses do based on hashing. Okay, so hash, like I told you, we discussed about a hash. Like if you just add a single space or a comma, the hash is going to be changed, and some antivirus might bypass that, may not detect that, but it is not completely undetectable. Like you need to reverse engineer this whole code until or unless then you cannot bypass any antivirus. Okay, so most often if you want to bypass anything, just create on your own. Okay, it's not a rocket deal. Like go through a few courses, like how they work, how the payloads work, and just try to build one if you want, if you're really interested. Don't depend on these tools. Okay, so now let's launch MSF console. You don't need to run any commands like hyphen hyphen help or sort of stuff, because MSF console itself a console. I'll show you what a console means. Like it doesn't require any command line options like a hyphen p, Windows payload sort of stuff. You don't need that. Okay, you can just run MSF console and it works absolutely fine. Okay, absolutely fine. Now you can see you have here options. So let's go through this. So every time you launch this, it depends. Like some people use C++, C, Python, Perl. Like it depends. Okay, it depends on the target that you're working on. Okay. Yep. So you'll get an ASCII art every time you launch the MSF console, and you can see some information like this is a 6.3.16 version dev version. You can see, as I told you, these consist of three modules. One is an exploits module, auxiliary module, and post module. You have like 2,315 exploits, 1208 auxiliary modules, 412, and you have 975 payloads and 9 evasion techniques. These doesn't work most of the time, but if you want, you can try them. So if you want to find out more options, this is the docs is the best place. Open link. Let's open this link. Let's go through that link once quickly, because like guys, like you don't need to remember everything. Okay, like in let's open that then. Copy link address. Google is your best friend, guys. Like I see several questions people ask me. They are just a Google search away. So you can see this is a documentation. I'll give you this as well. Like I don't need to, I guess, but I'll give you anyhow. So go through the documentation. You will find so much information here. So like you can see how you can set module options, like everything that I'm going to discuss, like not everything, I'll be only discussing some part here. But if you want to learn more about, just go through this thing. Okay, so you'll get more detailed information regarding Metasploit here. Like I only know, I'll be very honest, I only know like 20 or 30% of the Metasploit, to be honest. But even that 20 or 30% is very good enough. Okay, you can put yourself like above so many people. So it has like so much. This is very good tool. You can just go and try this out. Okay, so let's as I told you, we created a payload like Metasploit payload. Okay, so let's create. I think it's already available here. Maybe not. Okay, so Control L. So as I told you, console in the sense like you don't need. You will get some option like this, and you'll get something like use exploit slash multi slash handler. So this is a payload. Okay, this is a this is a module that you used for listening for the communications. But you can see there is a payload. It is already generated, like it auto configured that it is generic shell reverse TCP. But do you remember what is the payload that we created? It is set payload. Like there is an option like set up. Okay, set. Okay, the payload here is like the, or you can see something like show options. You can see there are several options here. For example, there is a module name, you can leave that. Okay, payload options, you can see the payload name here. Is this the payload that we created? No, so you need to change the payload. You need to provide an L host and you need to provide an L port, and that's it. Simple, very simple. So first let's start with the payload. So set payload windows slash meterpreter slash reverse underscore TCP. Okay, you have TCP, you have HTTP. Okay, you have HTTPS as well. So these are like a few different stuff. So HTTP is not that secure because like every command that you run through go through in a plain text format. HTTPS is not reliable. TCP works absolutely fine for me. Okay, it transfers in some sort of headers and sort of stuff, and it works absolutely fine. So I added a payload. So if I look options now, you can see the payload is changed here to Windows Meterpreter slash reverse TCP. And we also need to, I don't need to, there are few options here like names here. So these are options. Okay, so name, these are option name, exit function, L host, L port. And you can see there is a section called as required. So you don't need to change this. Okay, so let's set the L host. So set L host. Okay, you don't need to, like you don't need to always provide the IP address. You can even provide the interface name. For example, ETH0 is my interface name. Sometimes you might be working with TUN0. Okay, so TUN0 in the sense like whenever you're connecting a VPN sort of stuff, you might have this. Okay, it depends. Okay, so I'll be giving you an easy way. ETH0, just give that. Like you can see, it auto finds it and it just adjusts that. And now you can see show options once again. And you can see the L host is set it up, and L port it's already 444, right? So we'll not change it, but if you want to change it, so it's same. So set L port and the value. Okay, very simple, very simple. Now you can just run, if you set all the options, you can just run a command like exploit, or you can also run a command like run. Okay, so it everything works fine. Just run and it just starts the listener. Okay, so now it starts listening to the communication. No problem, guys. Like these videos will be available on my channel, so you don't need to worry. Okay, so just bookmark that bootcamp playlist, and you can watch it whenever you want. Okay. What Wi-Fi chipset are you using? Alpha AW036 and HA. Okay, so now like I don't have any Windows machine here in order to show this for you. But as I told you, you can just transfer that shell.exe that we created earlier, and you can just double click that, and you'll get a session here. Okay, so yep. So there is something. So I told you there is the advantage with the Meterpreter. So I'll tell you what the advantage is. Meterpreter has like several options. Maybe this one, I guess. Meterpreter has like some specific commands that is very useful for like get the information. Maybe not this, I guess. No. Let's go and run something like Meterpreter commands. Yep. Yeah, Meterpreter basics maybe. So you can see there are some commands that you can run. Like help is like basic option that you can run anywhere. Okay, you'll get what you have. Like you will get few options. Like if you want to background the session, okay, like you get a session, and if you want to background, you can just run a background command. I'll show you this command as well. Just a minute. You have like cat option. In order, if you have any files, you can do that. Okay, you can just navigate anything finds. Like if you want to navigate to any folder, like cd, find cd space dot dot find, everything works fine. Okay, so like if you want to download any file, you can do that. Okay, so it downloads. If you want to edit, you can do that. Okay, if you want to edit any file, you can do that. It's fine. Okay, you have like it's like a Vim only. So edit in the sense it's Vim. So Vim editor, fine. It's fine. Like if you want to edit, if you want to execute any command, like any executable, you can do that. This is very useful because like once I uploaded a keylogger. So keylogger is a software which logs every keystroke that you type, and I just uploaded that and just executed that, and I got a keylogger session as well. And get UID in the sense it gives you the present server name that you logged in as. Okay, you can also run post modules. I'll tell you about that. Ideal time in the sense how much time it's been there. LS basic command, PS like process that are running out. Like these are some basic stuff you can go through. Okay, so I'll just leave that in the chat so you guys can check that out. Okay, so you can upload. So upload is a very good functionality. Okay, like you can upload any second stage payload sort of stuff. You can even have webcam connection, webcam snap in the sense like it just takes a snap, like it's a picture from your webcam. This is very dangerous. Like I hope you guys saw this Mr. Robot where one of the leading actress laptop gets hacked, and like they will hack her webcam as well, and they'll blackmail her using her like like her personal stuff and private stuff. So this happens. So that's the reason most of the time people recommend you to block your webcam and stuff. So that's fine. You can even live stream as well, guys. Like you can go through others as well, and that's fine. Okay, just go through the webcam, these options. Okay, try these options out. Okay, so this will be very interesting to do. Okay, I think there are other payloads as well. Maybe we'll find out other list as well where you can find detailed results. Yeah, you can go through, you can find out several Meterpreter commands, but I would suggest you to go and practice them manually. Okay, so they'll help you a lot. There are some books as well by Packet. So there is a book on Meterpreter. Okay, a complete book on Meterpreter. Sorry, Metasploit. Sorry, and you can go and read that if you have access to that. Okay, so most of the guys have access to this Packet thing. So if you want, you can go and read that. It's very good book. Okay, like you'll find a lot of information here. Mm, that's it. That's the basic thing. And now we will be I'll be showing you something like how to exploit vulnerable services using MSF console. So if you recall, so I'll just run a quick nmap scan. Okay, let me find out ARP scan hyphen L. Okay, this is the IP address of 421 hyphen SV hyphen SC. Okay. Hmm. What did I do wrong? I think the quotes, I guess. So what I'm doing is like we already ran nmap scan on this particular Metasploitable. Okay, and there is something called as port 21, which is having version VSFTPD 2.3.4. Okay, and I just ran a version scan and the script scan here. So you can see some information here. So you can see something called as a version. So you can just copy the version. So how vulnerable exploits, like exploiting vulnerable services, services work in the sense, like just try to identify the version name. This is the first step. There are several steps to do, but I'm telling you an easy way. Okay, so you can, with this technique, you can solve like very like easy CTF rooms or like boxes easily. Okay, so this is the step. Like I would say, like you can solve like 10 or 15 hack the box machines. Okay, and like 50 to 40 try hacking rooms with with this just technique. So just find out the service version name. Okay, just paste it and just add exploit at the end. Just search for like the version, the service and also the version number and also the word exploit. And you can see some options here, like exploit database is something we'll be discussing in the next class, but now we'll be discussing, as I told you, rapid 7. So rapid 7, what is rapid 7? It's nothing but Metasploit. So just open this. Okay, you can see something like backdoor command execution. Okay, so you can run commands in the from backdoor. Okay, so you can see there is some description and sort of stuff, but before that, let's launch MSF console. Okay, and you can see here the module name as well. You can see if you come scroll down a little bit, there are some module options like use. This is a module name, like exploit Unix in the sense like your target operating system, FTP in the sense like the FTP service. VSFTPD 2.3.4 is the name of that. Okay, very simple. So or also you can do something like you don't need to always go to Google, like you can simply search for something like this. And this is also a small command like search, and you can just search for anything in the Metasploit, and you can see there is a module here. So you can use this module like using something like use 0. Okay, you can see here like use 0, or you can just copy everything here and you can paste it. You can see what is 0 here, so I'll just make it small. You can see like sometimes you might find, for example, if you search for something like SMB version, for example, you'll find several payloads here. So every payload has some sort of a number. So in order to copy paste whole the the module name, you can just paste that number. Okay, so I'll run this once again. So I'll be using use 0. Okay, I hope you guys are getting it. You guys are getting it, so fine. So let's look for the options. So here you have other options called as R hosts. So R host in the sense like your target host. Like in the description, they'll give you the complete operation, the target host or hosts. Okay, so set the R host, sorry, to what is that? ARP scan hyphen L. This is your Metasploitable or your target machines thing. Sorry. Just paste it. Okay, so now look for the options. You can see it is set it up, and you can simply hit run, and you got a shell. If I type who am I, Sorry, just found a shell, sorry. If I type who am I now, you can see it's root. Okay, now we can type background. You can background this session as well, like if you can work on others as well, you can find it in all. So where you may be having doubt, like where can I find all these backgrounded sessions, you can simply type sessions, for example, and you can see what are sessions that are active. So in order to interact with any session, so sessions hyphen I interact and the ID name. So this the ID name is 1 here. So now we will start interacting with the session 1. Like if I type who am I once again, it's root. So if you want, you can exit and the session is closed. Very simple. Okay, so I'll also show you one more thing. So just copy this once again. So nmap port 445. So I'm deliberately running this on an SMB. So I'll be showing you an SMB service, how you can exploit that by using the same technique. Okay, so now I ran a command. You can see I have a version called as SMB 3.0.20. Okay, sometimes if you didn't get that particular version, you can simply search for. Sometimes you may not get the exact version of SMB, so then you can use search. Okay, SMB version. So there is this module, auxiliary module. So use 0. Okay, show options. So every module has an option. So set R hosts and paste that. Just hit on run. And let's see. You can see detected G 3.0.20 Debian. Okay, so that is fine. So now we got some information. SMBD 3.0.20. Just paste that and exploit. Okay, simple. This is the simple thing. Google search and you get the first one, the username map script. So this is the payload that you guys could use. Sorry, the can use. 1 minute. Yep. So you can see this is the payload. Okay, you can just copy it. Sometimes even though you search as SMBD 3.0.20, it may not reflect. So in those cases, you can also search on like Google for that term that I told you and it will work fine. Okay, so simple, you can use this command. You can just copy paste it. Okay, copy. Oh, not this. Paste it. Show options. Okay, it's like L host and L port are already set it up. You can set the R hosts. And you can also see show options once again. So sometimes the option may not be set it up. So in those cases, re-verify. You can see R port is set it up to 139. So 139 also it's fine. So set R port. Let's try with the 445 as well. Let's hit run. Maybe the payload is wrong, I guess. I think the payload is not required. Yeah, I got the command session here. Sorry. If I type who am I once again, you can say I'm root here. Okay, so this is very simple. So like you can use the same technique and you can like solve many easy boxes on try hacking and hack the box. Okay, this is one of the easiest way to do it. So just using Metasploit and just exploiting a vulnerable service. So this is the basic basic steps that you guys need to start with in the exploitation phase. Like don't think of like hacking e-corp or sort of stuff in the beginning phase. Like just start with this stuff, like get familiar with these payloads and tools, like how they are working and sort of stuff, and it is going to be very good for you. Okay, so that is it. Like these are some options. Like there are so many options that we guys can use, but as of now these are some options. Like you can try out any options. Okay, Google is your good friend. You have like rapid 7. Okay, for example, I'll tell you something. So there is a Google. Let me open Google. Site is going to be rapid 7. And I want to see something like nmap. Search for that. You can see nmap service detections for and rapid 7 extensions nmap. Like there are several modules related to that. Okay, you can just use some Google Docs like this, and it is going to give you a lot of information. Okay, just use Google Docs. Okay, filter out with the Rapid 7 and just search for that. For example, you can see SMB 3.0.20. Like if you're getting so many search results which are not useful, just use Rapid this particular tag, and you can see I can easily filter out the information here. So that is how you guys can do this stuff. Okay, so I hope this is I hope you found this session helpful. So by this, like, this is the end of the session. Like, I hope I gave you a basic understanding. Like, I'm damn sure that I didn't give you like complete understanding. This is just the basic understanding that you guys need. Okay, so that what happens in the sense, like, you can start working on this, like, like what in penetration testing or anything, like, you will have like only some tools to work with. Okay, but most of the tools you will get to know by working on with them. Okay, so like, just try to work with these tools, and you'll get more and more exposure, and will figure out few tricks as well. So I'll also give you this book, Metasploit book. mm, Packet from Packet, PACKT, Mastering Metasploit. This is one good book. You guys can try this out if you want to. If you like interested, this is one of the good book, and this is not any affiliate link or anything else. Like, I personally have this book, and this is very good book. So you can just learn, and I will find like it is going to be really fun, right? If you go through this book, like this book covers like so much of information, and yep, you guys can include that into your thing. And also, if you guys are preparing for OSCP and sort of stuff, then OSCP that has restrictions on this Metasploit tool, so keep that in mind. Okay, if you're a beginner and you're starting out, then start with the Metasploit. Okay, you don't need to go and do something extra curricular or sort of stuff. In the next class, I'll be telling you about other stuff. Yes, bro. Yes, but as I told you, these will get detected by the antivirus. Okay, like, turn off the Windows Defender and try it out. Okay. Okay, try it out on. You can try it on Windows 10, Windows 7. I think if you want to try these shells out, right, the best suggestion that I could give you is like try it on Windows 8. Okay, because Windows 8 doesn't consume so much memory and like resources, and also it is very good. Okay, like, good in the sense, like, it is, you can find it easily, and also you can run these payloads very simply without worrying about antivirus. Like, if you're starting it out, this is the good thing. If you guys have any questions, you can just feel free to ask. Yeah, I'll be there for like 5 more minutes. You guys can just ask your questions, and I'd be really, really happy to answer them. Okay. If you have any question, just feel free to ask, guys. So yesterday I thought to come live, but I was stuck in some other issues. So I'm very sorry for that. But if possible, I'll just come up as SAP. Okay. I'll never miss a chance where I could attend. So do you can we use, yeah, you can use it for weapon testing. Like as I told you, right, tools consist of, they are not just limited to Windows and Linux. There are some payloads for Android, there are payloads for Mac, OS X as well. So like they have, these tools have so much of functionality. So you can just try it out, okay? So I said I guess that is it. So that being said, there are still 4 more minutes. I'll wait, okay? Mm, that's it. Anything else? No. So that being said, so really thank you for joining the stream for today. I'll definitely hit you up with a new video tomorrow. So it may be on physical keylogger video. Let's see if possible. So I just ordered it on Amazon. So not just like some few days back, and I'll be like getting that tomorrow. So most probably tomorrow I'll upload that video. Most probably tomorrow, like 80%. Like if it's not fine, then I should wait. Okay. So that being said, really thank you guys for joining the stream. So even though if you missed the stream, no problem. You can just watch it out. Okay, if you want, you can just go back and watch it out. And if you feel if you have any queries or sort of stuff, you can just connect with me on my Discord server, and you can just post your questions. You can just tag me, no problem. Okay, and also you can connect with me on my Twitter and LinkedIn. So that being said, really thank you. Good night, or whatever your time it is. Bye.